Hello everybody, myself Prashant Mukhopadhyay, faculty member, Electrical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. In our last class, we have discussed about single phase full wave controlled rectifier or converter with center tap type, and we have discussed about resistive load, resistive inductive load, and also resistive inductive load with freewheeling diode. Today we'll discuss the second type, that is a bridge type circuit. First of all, we'll discuss about this bridge circuit, single phase full wave converter with resistive load, and then gradually we'll discuss on inductive load, resistive inductive load, and so on. So actually this is the circuit, this is the full wave bridge converter or bridge control rectifier circuit with resistive load. See, this is actually diagonally opposite pairs of SCOs turn on and turn off together. So that means one, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So 1 and 4 and 2 and 3. So will be turned on and turned off simultaneously. Actually, circuit operation is similar. That of the full wave center tap circuit, which we have discussed in our last class. The average DC output voltage can be controlled from 0 to its maximum value by varying the firing angle. The SCRs are controlled and fired in pairs with a delay angle of alpha. The current and voltage waveforms become full wave, that is shown in the waveforms say picture or figure. So actually this is current through SCR1, this is current through 2, this is actually I3, and this is I1, this is I2, not I2 actually. So let us see what is the average value of the output of the DC voltage, that is 1 by twice pi, twice integration alpha to pi root over 2v sin omega t d omega t, and that comes to actually Vm by pi 1 into 1 plus cos alpha. So if we integrate it over this say limit from alpha to pi, and then simplify it, we will get the average output voltage like this. Now average output current would be this average output voltage divided by the resistive load, that is the resistance. So this will be Vm by pi r into 1 plus cos alpha. Now the RMS value for the output voltage and current are given like this. This is the expression for the RMS value of the output voltage. So this will root over of 1 by twice pi, twice integration over alpha to pi root 2v sin omega t square d omega t, and that will comes to like this, Vm by root 2, so root over of 1 minus alpha by pi plus sin 2 alpha by 2 pi. So this is the value of the RMS RMS value of the output voltage, and this will be the RMS value of the output current. So this will be Im by root 2 root over 1 minus alpha by pi plus sin 2 alpha by 2 pi. So that can be obtained similarly in this way. So basically if we divide it by R, so Vm by R will be given will be equal to IL actually. So the average and the RMS value of the SCR are given by, this is the average value of the thyristor or SCR. This is equal to 1 by twice pi integration over alpha to pi root 2v by r sin omega t d omega t, and that will come to I average value of the output current divided by 2, IU average by 2, and thyristor's RMS value will be root over of 1 by twice by 2 into say integration over alpha to pi root 2 v by r sin omega t square d omega t, and that will also comes to so average RMS value of the average output current divided by root 2. So we can write the output power is given by like this output power equal to RMS output current square into R. So that will be actually RMS value of the output voltage square by R, and the input or say supply power factor is given by this is actually output and by input. Okay, so this one this is output by P by S actually this is the input power, so that will be like this. So I RMS R divided by BS. Okay, and this is the waveform actually. This rectifier with the resistive load waveform will be like this. So this is actually the source voltage waveform. Okay, this is output voltage like this. This will be like this. So actually when we have discussed this in center tap type, so similarly more or less this is the output current, this one. Okay, and this is the conduction pair of the current through thyristor 1 and 4 diagonally opposite. So this will be like this. This is for the positive half, and through the negative half of the supply voltage thyristor 2 and 3 will be conducted. So this will be like this. So for this negative half. Okay, so this negative half. This is for the positive half. Okay, this is positive half. Here, this is firing angle, and this is again another the next positive half. Okay, so this is for thyristor 1 and 4. Actually, if we go to the circuit diagram, it will be like this. See, this is forward biased. Okay, positive voltage is pushed. Now through this, it will be again this is forward biased. So this will be like this. For the negative one, this is negative. Okay, this will be like this. Here. So actually, and that is displayed in this waveform. So once again, use pi. This is the positive half, and for that, this is your thyristor 1 is under conduction. Okay, so at alpha, thyristor 1 is fired. Firing angle is alpha. So after pi, this is under reverse bias conditions. Okay, and again when the positive half of the supply voltage is impressed, so thyristor 4 will be under conduction. Okay, if it is fired at say 2 pi plus alpha is the firing angle, this is 2 pi. Okay, so in this way actually this thyristor will conduct, and for the next positive half, this is thyristor 4 during conduction. For negative half, so this is actually thyristor 2 under conduction, and this is the current due to thyristor 3. Here, this is the source current. Basically, if you take all this, if you merge these two, so it will be like this. Okay, then this here like this. This is the source current. Okay, and this is the voltage across the thyristor. Here. So in this way, the say bridge rectifier circuit with resistive load is being discussed. We have what we if we again say repeat these our discussions, what we will find. So it is a full wave controlled rectifier circuit This is both thyristors forming a bridge, and diagonally opposite thyristors are say conducting at a time, and for the say first half or positive half of the supply voltage, and for the negative half of the supply voltage, this diagonally opposite thyristors SC2 and 4 will be conducted. Then if the say thyristors are fired at an angle, delay angle of alpha, and accordingly this will be like this. Once again I am telling you, so this is the conduction path, and for the negative half, this will be like this. Okay, this will be like this. So and we have what after that we have calculated the average output voltage. This is like, this is the average output current. Okay, then we have say calculated the RMS value of the output voltage and current. This is RMS value of the output voltage. Okay, so this will be, expression is like this: Vm by root 2 root over of 1 minus alpha by pi plus sine 2 alpha by 2 pi. And if we divide it by 4 r, so Vm by r root 2, that is nothing but Vm by r is the Im. So RMS value of the output current will be Im by root 2 root over of 1 minus alpha by pi plus sine 2 alpha by 2 pi. So the average and the RMS values of the ACRs are also calculated. So this is like this. So if you calculate, if you go to the waveform and that calculation to write down the equations will be easier. Then actually thyristor average voltage will be 1 by 2 pi alpha to pi integration alpha to pi. So root 2 V by R sine omega t d omega t. And after calculation it will comes to IO average by 2. So average output current, half of the average output current. And RMS value of the thyristors will be say 1 by root 2 times average RMS value of the output current. RMS value of the output current. And this is the output power. So basically this is the RMS value of the output current square into R. So basically this will be RMS value of the output voltage square by R. And input supply power factor is given by this. This is the output power, that is P active power, and this is the S, so VSI RMS. Actually this is the source current also, so that will be like IO RMS into R by VS. So with this we once again we can go to this waveform. This is the source voltage waveform. This is the output voltage waveform. Okay, this is our current waveform like this. Clear? This is the for positive half say through conduction through thyristor 1 and 4. This is for 1. This is for the second positive half, that is for the conduction through thyristor 4. And then this is for the first negative half, that's for this. This is thyristor current through thyristor 2. And then this is for the second negative half. This is for the current through thyristor 3. If we combine, so it will be the source current like this. Okay, and this is the voltage across the thyristor. Okay, this is for the voltage, forward voltage due to the before firing. Yes, so this is after conduction, when it is thyristor in conduction mode, so voltage drop is almost 0. Okay, and this is for the negative half. So this is the thyristor blocking. So this is actually for each thyristor, this will be like this. So this is for the negative half, and again for this portion is for delay angle. This is again for conduction, and this is again for the say blocking, forward blocking case. So that's all. about this full bridge rectifier. Now we'll discuss the bridge rectifier, control rectifier with inductive load, basically RL load. So if we in our previous circuit diagram, if we add inductance in series with the resistance, actually with this, so our new circuit for inductive load will be formed. And during these discussions we will give our say discussion regarding two types of inductance. One is inductance value is very low, and in another case inductance value is very high. So actually load current will tends to keep flowing since the inductor induces a voltage that act to oppose an increase or decrease in current. Therefore, SCR keeps conducting even though the voltage may be fallen to zero. The current maintains conduction in the SCRs even after the voltage across the SCR has reversed. So with this we discuss firstly the inductance of very low value. That means inductance of is small, and in that case delay angle is very high. Alpha is very high. So DC output current reaches zero every half cycle at pi plus beta. That is also discussed, and that is shown in this here also in the waveform. And during this period, neither pair of SCRs is on, nor therefore is the current said to be discontinuous. Whatever be the case, the average values of the output voltage will be like this: 1 by 2 pi twice integration over alpha to beta to b sin omega t d omega t, and that will be coming as Vm by pi cos of alpha minus cos of beta. So integration, sorry, Vm by pi into cos of alpha minus cos of beta. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram actually. This is the pair of SCRs that will be conducted for one half, and this is another pair of SCRs that will be conducted another half of the waveform of the supply voltage. Okay, so this is actually output current. This is output voltage across the load, inductive load R and L, and this is this SCR1, SCR4, SCR2, and SCR3. So see the waveform here. This is the source voltage actually. Okay. This is first positive half, this is negative half, again positive, so 0 to pi is positive half, pi to 2 pi is a negative half. So for this half and this half, thyristor SCR1 and SCR4 will be in forward burst. For this and next this SCR2 and 3 will be forward burst. So then output voltage waveform like this. This is the delay angle or firing angle. So this will be the conduction, okay, and due to the presence of the inductance, so current will flow in the negative directions, and so as a result this is the voltage waveform, actually output voltage waveform like this. So that we have discussed in our earlier RL circuit discussions in for the center tap type also. So this is the actually firing angle for thyristor 4. Actually, sorry, yes, actually this is the next firing angle. So in this way, so alpha pi plus alpha 2 pi plus alpha. This is the this is first delay angle. This is again second delay angle. Okay, so fire at pi plus alpha. So this is output current actually. Okay, this is output current. So this is like this. This current, this is the current through thyristor 1, IT1. Okay, and this is for IT2 and IT3. This is IT4. Okay, so continuous conduction will be possible. Okay, now if the load inductance is assumed to be high or large, so in that case the firing angle is small, so alpha is small, so load current cannot reach zero and it flows continuously. So actually this is shown here in this figure. See, cannot be zero. This is the source voltage, this is output voltage. Okay, this is the voltage across the thyristor, and this is output current. So this is for it's a negative half. This is I2 for current due to SCR 2 and 3. This is for SCR 1 and 4. Again this is for 2 and 3, and there again this is for 1 and 4. So this is the output current. Okay, this is the conduction profile of this current to thyristor 1. Okay, thyristor 2, thyristor 3, and this is again thyristor 4. So this is actually, if the inductance is very high, that means firing angle is very small, alpha is small. Okay, so how this can be achieved? So this can be achieved in the way during positive half cycle SCR1 and SCR1 and SCR2, if conductors apply KVL around the loop. So this will be like this actually. Actually like this. Okay, so this will be yes, clear. So actually half cycle. So when I is greater than 0 between alpha to pi minus alpha, so this will be like this. So if SCR1 and SCR conduction, so it is equal to 0, and SCR2 is blocking this voltage, so this is equal to 2 minus Vs, which means SCR2 is the reverse bias. So applying KVL around this loop, so containing Vs, SCR1 and the load and SCR4. So in this loop, actually, if we take this one, actually this one, okay, so this will be how much? So this will be this drop plus this voltage plus this drop, so equal to this supply voltage. That is written here. Okay, clear? Now SCR is and SCR1 and 4 are conducting, so this voltage will be 0. So output voltage will be actually the source voltage, Vs equal to this is V output equal to Vs. During the interval, so alpha to pi, that is given here. Okay, this here. So from this actually during the negative half cycle, the source voltage is negative. Actually, Vs is less than 0, less than equal to 0. The preceding equations do not change form, although some of the quantities change sign. And since Vs is negative, SCR2 and SCR3 be forward biased and will turn on when the receiver gets signal, and the load current will still flows in the same path to SCR1 and SCR4 until SCR2 and 3 are triggered. Therefore, from pi to pi plus alpha, the load voltage is negative since Vs is less than equal to 0. So that is shown here. So this load voltage is 0, negative. Okay. So now And SCR2 and SCR3 are when triggered, which supplies that V output voltage equal to the negative of the source voltage to the load. So average value of this output voltage varies with alpha, and this will be given by 1 by pi integration alpha to pi plus alpha Vm sin omega t d omega t. And that comes to this result to Vm by pi cos alpha. And average value of the output current, so this will be divided by R, so actually 2 Vm cos alpha by R. Okay, so basically this is the figure. Okay, for L is high. Okay, this is output voltage, this is the voltage across thyristors, this is due to for delay, this is during conduction. This is again due to the negative reverse blocking mode. Sorry, negative. This is for forward blocking delay. This is for conduction and so on. And this is the output current. Okay, this is for I1, I4. This is for I2, I3, and so on. And this is the source current. Here. And these are the current waveform of the thyristor 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so if the load circuit have an EMF, the output average current is given by like this. The average and RMS values of the thyristor current are given by, so integration over alpha to pi plus alpha, average output current to d omega t, that is half of the average value of the output current. And similarly the RMS value will be like this, 1 by root 2 times the average value of the output current. So RMS value of the supply current will be, so if you calculate, so it will be same as the average output voltage, output current. So the average value of the supply current equals 0 because its positive part area equal to its negative part, but the average over one half cycle, half cycle is equal to the average of the load current. The output power is given by this. Okay, so this is RMS value of the output current square into R, and if the load current has an EMF, the output average power is given by like this. So this plus EIO average. So the input power factor is given by this. So this will give you the input power factor. So note that when becomes larger than 90 degree, the average value of the output voltage becomes negative. This means that from 90 to 180 degree power flows from the DC load side to the AC source side, and the circuit operates as an inverter. When rectification and inversions are obtained from one converter, the process is called, it is a two-quadrant operation, and the converter is equal to full converter. So this is very important actually for when a larger, so actually 90 degree to 180 power flows from the DC load side to AC source side, and the circuit operates as an inverter. And when rectification and inversion are obtained from one converter, the process is called a two-quadrant operation, and the converter is called a full converter. So that's about the discussion of say single phase bridge rectifier with RL load. And from this discussion we are getting the 2 point, if L is low, what will be the waveform and what will be the output voltage and current pattern, and then that means for a larger delay angle what should be the effect in the output voltage and current. And when L is large, that means firing angle or delay angle is very small, so in that case we'll get more or less continuous output current with this bridge rectifier. And with this we may conclude our discussion of the single phase bridge rectifier with inductive load. Okay, and hope you have enjoyed the class, and if you have any queries you may ask me later on. Okay, thank you.